Hey guys, today we begin a challenge. A challenge to 3-mark the Longbomb. This came about from a measly joke. You see, our friend xiverisx has already 3-marked the Longbomb for himself, and when celebrating him on becoming a community contributor, he jokingly said that me and him had made a deal that once he became a CC, I would 3-mark the Longbomb. And there it began. I decided that it would be no joke, and I shall actually do it. But I wouldn't let him slide freely. We would turn this into a race. I asked if he was up to the task to 3-mark another tank. His response was, which one? So seeing as the Longbomb is a slow, well-armored derp gun, I thought it would be fitting to propose another tank of similar variety. The Sturm Tiger. I'm sure xiverisx will have more fun than me in that tank, but the question isn't about fun. Also, for those who don't know xiverisx, allow me to introduce you.
And I show you my okay, we will show you guys my socks. Okay, prepared. That I fell off. Okay, fair enough. No one saw it. No one saw it. Never happened.
Xiverisx, wake up.
Don't let these clips fool you, though. He may fall out of his chair or fall asleep once in a while, but xiverisx is a man of skill and commitment. If you want to see what I'm talking about, head over to his YouTube channel, where he has plenty of great games uploaded there for you guys to see. Like this one, where he gets a Kalabanovs in a wheelie tank. I could only dream of doing such a thing. Those clips were pulled from his Twitch, though. Both of those links will be posted in the description for you guys to check out. But let's get on with it. To the Longbomb gameplay. Now the first two games happened on stream. xiverisx snuck in there and wanted me to play the Longbomb live. There we got to 8.4%. And so that's where we'll start. First match here is a Sand River encounter battle, and I'm going to show you the entirety of it just so you get the gist of how this is going to play. I'm going to speed up portions here where I'm just driving and nothing's really happening just to make it go by quicker. But in a second here, I'm going to line up towards the center lane and try and get some shots. And I'm going to spot a Panzer IV-H. Well, I didn't spot him, but I'm going to target him. And I'm going to switch to my AP round here and actually pen. Now, you won't see much of the AP rounds in the rest of this video because I find out later on if I'm going to pen with AP, I might pen with HE as well. So there's no point in really keeping them around if I have guaranteed damage with HE. And if I'm going to pen with AP, I would pen with the HE round too. As you can see here, I pen an HE round. So, yeah, the AP round's going to disappear quite soon. But right now we have a light tank kind of circling us going for Artie, and I'm debating whether or not to actually turn towards him as there's this heavy tank that's coming up towards us. And by the time that I make the decision, it's a little too late. Artie does splash him for 97, but it's not enough. Prof gets around into him, but my shot just doesn't get there. There's the heavy tank. So I have to turn around here now, very slowly, as I back under the ridge to not get shot by anything else. And luckily I did that, because that light tank misses us. Prof comes in to start taking the shot. And now I'm just HE spamming this guy, and I'm hoping that I'm able to take him out. He takes out Prof, and I think it's pretty good. The HE damage is quite consistent. It's hitting for 100 plus onto the side of this guy. So I take him out, and I take all of his HP with me. There it is. Unfortunately, the snake bites back with 2 HP. Now, I tried my damnedest to ram kill him here, but it just does nothing. And so I flick my last shot off towards this EOC, and there I go, I'm dead. That was our first round. Off stream, actually. 1,400 damage, 75 assisted. It's going to net us quite a big gain, actually, because the 3-mark is like 1,100 or something like that, according to the website. So 1,400 damage here, not too shabby for our first match. We go up to 14%. As I said, that was the first game, so I showed you the entirety of it. But with these next ones, I'm just going to show you highlights, like this one here, where I blind fire this guy. But not just once. Twice. Unfortunately, not 3 times, though. Because that one whiffs. Up next, we have me just doing some damage to an OI. No big deal, but you notice that big chunk that was just taken out of him by a KV2, who you'll see at the end, kind of just carried the team. And while I'm looking towards this OI to try and get some more damage, I hit this nasty shot. Oh, goodness. And luckily I get some tracking off of it too right there by that same KV2. And then here's the last bit where I get some damage on an Excelsior, and I'm hoping he makes it across so I can get some more damage, but he drowns. Yep, that's basically all she wrote for me that match. But it wasn't a bad one. There's the KV2 on the MVP screen. It was 800 damage with a nice big chunk of tracking. So we went up to 18.6. Quite a nice jump. Up next, we have LL Amin, where we go center of the city. It is encounter, so I expected a fight here. I did not expect a fight with an Excalibur, though. I get hit by my own arty there, funnily enough. This guy looks like he was driving straight at me, but, you know, I gotta get used to this thing being slow and people driving around me and whatnot like this. And you'll see that later on towards the end of the video, too. It's a bit of a frustrating experience. I miss a few shots here and there too, and Artie takes that from me. But as we're going towards the rest of the damage, I see Prof's very weak here, and oh no, Artie! Don't worry, I'll avenge you, Prof. Firstly, I gotta take care of this Hellcat, though. I have AP rounds loaded. I don't know why, but I do. And, well, the gun arc on this thing is a lot more to the right than it is to the left, and that kind of screwed me there. I missed my shot, but luckily we were able to kill him. Just some damage was taken. And I'm sitting here waiting for the arty. Again, I want to avenge Prof here. Do I get to? I'm hoping he's visible, and he is. Hey, and I get the third person shot on him as well. 1153 damage, not too bad. We went up to 21.44%. Pretty good. This next one, though, on Lakeville is very quick because, well, I go 4-line, and as you can see here, this is the only shot of damage I basically get before I'm murdered by a Churchill, believe it or not. Goodness. We only went up to 21.52%, but quickly we're going to ignore the next battle as nothing really significant or cool happens. And we only get to 23.36%. But this next one on Heilbronn is quite a good battle. So we're going to show you the entirety of it, including the slow parts, but we're going to speed those up. And we're going to go towards the sniping position, even though we have a derp gun. We are bottom tier as well. And I just want to say, too, by the way, if you weren't aware, only your biggest assisted counts towards your mark. And I'm saying that because at the end here, well, we have quite a big chunk of both tracking and assisted, or tracking and spotting, I should say, and well, only one of those counts towards the mark. But anyway, we're going to find a BDR here, and I don't realize I have AP loaded because I miss all my shots. And because I miss all my shots, I'm not doing damage, so I'm not thinking I have HE loaded. I missed those first 3 shots, but here we go. I'm finally going to hit, but not pen, and then realize, oh, I had AP loaded. And then I'm also gonna miss this shot too, yeah? Yikes. I'm telling you this is a good battle, and yet it doesn't look like it yet, does it? There's some spotting though, like I said. We get quite a bit of that. And now, I notice there's a light tank behind me, and I get spotted. So, although that BDR is a one-shot right there, I don't want to risk him shooting my cupola, so I turn around. I'm hoping this EBR kind of comes around the rock and gives me an easy shot. He does take out Artie, but I quickly look this way and find a tiger between the rocks. I hit and track. He instantly repairs, but I do get some tracking assisted. And I'm getting shot at, but they're not penning me. And I'm going to continue to shoot at the tiger. I track him again for a lot more tracking now. And I'm going to keep firing at this guy. And I'm keeping him tracked, I believe. I'm getting more tracking assistance. But this OI drives in front of me. What are you doing? Fine. Tiger's dead. I start to shoot at this Cromwell. Again, the OI. Oh, it's an Oni. My bad. Starts blocking my shots. I'm not leading these properly. And I'll learn later on how to lead these slow HE rounds. But right now, I'm not doing so hot. But believe it or not, on this wheelie tank, I do hit him for quite a nice bit of damage. And I get some assisted wheel damage. Now, I wonder if wheel damage also counts as tracking so that those are combined for your mark. But who knows? But I get all kinds of assisted this match. And when I come back to this bush, believe it or not, that BDR is still there for me. So I do end up getting the kill, despite leaving him alone for quite a long time. So I guess it was worth it. And we're going to speed it up here as I'm going to move positions with the Oni. I was hoping he'd stay there to snipe whatever I may spot, because I was planning on cresting this rock line. But I don't need to do that, as we get shot from behind here by a panther. He doesn't pen, luckily. And Craft's with me, and we both turn around. I miss my shot. And it looks like he's going to back away and not really give us any more shots. But I'm expecting him to continue to peek, because he's got a tank destroyer over there that doesn't look like he's paying attention to. And he wants to help get rid of us, as we are quite in a strong position with this Oni. He does peek again, and I get his track off. So Craft starts giving me some more tracking assisted. I keep him tracked, and there he goes. Now I can do my rock climb that I wanted to do. It's going to take a bit, though, as this thing doesn't have the greatest power to weight, nor top speed anyway. So we're going up 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. We're on the flat now. You know, it's alright. But we got one more little hill to crest. I was hoping to spot maybe something at like C7, but... Sorry, C8, but we don't quite have the view range. And who knows if anything's there anyway. I snap around into this Crafts Panther and track him, so I get even more track assisted. It looks like tracking assisted is going to be my biggest one, but we're going to speed it up again here as I again move positions. I don't think I was really knowing what would be over here, but there's an OI. I try and golf around there, but no avail. But here's a T-28 concept. Very tough tank, especially for a bottom tier tank like myself with no pen. But I was expecting to do some HE damage, and now I'm trying to go for his drive wheel. I can barely see him. As you can see, I'm not running outlines. And I get nothing. Just the HE does nothing, his tracks don't come off, so I reposition to try and get a better line of sight on him and maybe shoot towards his gun area where I know he has weaker armor to maybe do some damage myself. But I'm running low on HE rounds. This is the game that makes me get rid of all my AP rounds. There's no more AP rounds on my loadout after this point. And I have 5 heat rounds. 32 HE rounds will be my new loadout. But here we go, getting some new HE damage on this guy. My idea of shooting his turret area works. But will I have enough HE to take him out? I only have 3 rounds left and he has 475 not damage, but HP. It's not looking too good. I'm going to need a high roll. More than 180 damage for both those shots, and I don't really do it. He's at 190, and I'm going to blind fire here. I do hit him, though, and leave him on 39 damage. So I track him. I just try and go for more tracking assisted. Yeah, it's 39, but 39's helpful. Missed that one, too. Unfortunately, when I tracked him, Prof over here shooting in his Ram 2 wasn't penning his little turrets on the side. Don't know where he is, but there he goes. I missed that one. I track him again, but he instantly repairs and no one's in in range to even shoot at him. So I try and track him one more time, knowing that his repair kit's gone now, and I have people closing in on his position. But unfortunately, that's all she wrote for me this battle. I'm gonna speed it up to the end, where I'm just praying that he doesn't somehow clutch this up, because that's the last thing I need. I have one heat round left, and I would need to get around to this guy's rear to pen him. But luckily he dies. But he did take one out with him, so I was quite scared. MVP, 2041 base XP, 2088 damage. This is looking to be an ace battle. 1908 assisted. How much of that actually counted towards my mark, though? And it is the ace. Look at that. 1443 tracking. So that's how much went towards my mark. And we only went up to 28.8%. Now, I was expecting to reach 30% with that battle, but we didn't. But anyway, moving on. We have our next battle on Vineyards, where this shot I'm about to hit is the only really good shot that I basically hit this entire game before... There it is. I still have AP, believe it or not. I get blind fired by Artie. Yep. Yeah. That sucked. But hey, we did hit that 30% there. Up next, we have our Muravenka standard battle match, where I'm going to go to the left side and try and get some shots here on anybody fighting in the brawling area. We do a bit of chunk damage to this Churchill 3. The Churchills really do take damage well. I do have to point that out. Churchills are nice and juicy. They have a lot of hit points, and they take HE damage poorly. I miss a round on the Skoda, but I'm going to aim at him again because, you know, I had it on a red reticle. It means I could shoot him, and there you go. Oh, a nice AP pen. Earlier when I said on Heilbronn that I would take all the AP off, I was wrong. It's actually a match on Paunus where I do that, and you'll see why. But here we go. They're on our base already. I put one into this Wolverine. It's 4-9. But I'm thinking, you know, me and Prof could hold this out, and this could be quite a nice high damage battle. But we do have to stop them from capping. A 25 TP is what it's called, is coming towards Prof. Prof takes out the light tank that was circling him. And I'm going to snap this Wolverine. Get him out of the battle. There you go. I'm going to help Prof with this 25 TP. Prof is on low HP, but luckily I put that guy to a one-shot for him and he dies. There's a T1 Heavy who I thought was in the cap here, and I was like, yes, good, sweet, we spotted him, but he's not. He's not the one actually in the cap. And unfortunately, again, I'm not leading these rounds too well, and I missed two easily hittable HE shots to the side of a T1 Heavy. There, that's how much I had to lead, like almost double what I was leading before to hit that guy. I could have had even more damage had I hit those rounds, but soon here I realized it's just me and Prof has no HP. And so I better start moving to see if I can spot the cap before they rush me on the left side. And unfortunately, something's going to peek the ridge. I'm hoping he doesn't spot me nor have the gun depression or whatnot to actually poke over in fear of getting shot himself, but he does. And whatever's on the cap is shooting me through this bush, and I can't see him. And the medium hits me again. The tank in front of me bounces. The Hellcat 105 behind me dirts the round, but the medium takes all my HP, and he capped. So Prof lives. And because I got capped, I have to be honest. There's the Hellcat that dirted the round, but here I don't check my mark progress. Instead, I just went to go see who capped, and it was this captured KV1 here who got all the base capture points. So we don't know what my mark's at. So we're going to put question marks up in the top right. And we're going to move on to the Countess battle. This is the one that makes me change my ammo loadout some more. We unfortunately miss a round here, which would have been really nice to hit. But we have a nice, juicy toaster that I can just eat with my HE round. One shot, baby. I believe that's my first one shot in this tank. And right here we see a Tog 2. Unfortunately, I think it was like a reach or something over here that just shot him. So quite a lot of damage was taken off of him. And my dumb self thinks AP rounds were enough to go through. Unfortunately, they're not. So I load heat, and the heat is enough to go through. But if you saw where that spark landed, it was the top of his deck. So I thought I didn't pen. The round has 104 millimeters of pen, while the front of the Tog 2 is only 76 or something like that. So I just had a bad shot. So I go for the tracking blows here and get some track assisted instead. But man, I would have loved to have that. Here's the golf. Perfect golf. Golfing is where you third-person aim, and here's me just going to chunk this Excelsior, but golfing is where you third-person aim and let the camera kind of adjust the shot for you, where you can lob the rounds over, where as in first person you wouldn't be able to see them because they're over a little mound. So it worked perfectly there, and I got an extra shot off because of it. And again, though, with this game, I don't know why this time I didn't check. Probably because I went to go change my ammo light out immediately, but we're, again, blind to how much progress we have on the mark. Hopefully I don't make that mistake more in the future, but for now, we are going to sit here and still not know. I get a pen off immediately on this Westfield game on that guy, because we're over here towards the sniping area. I HE splash this Absolution and then go for a Churchill, which again, nice chunk of damage. They really don't take HE well, do they? But we got a Black Prince here who does take HE well. I do track him, though, unfortunately. Actually, turns out I didn't track him, because I'm not getting any tracking assistance for that, but I do blind fire him yet again. And now it's further on in the battle. It's 9-6, and I expect my team to have my back covered. So because this 5-4 is pushing our rear somehow, I decide that going out in the open wouldn't have been a bad idea to try and progress, not progress, but push this guy out of here. But I'm getting shot in the butt. Luckily, that round right there didn't pen me. And you'll see, if that round penned me, we would have lost this game. But we're going to continue here. 36 HP. I'm running into cover. The 5-4 somehow kills himself. I don't know how he did that, but he kills himself. And later on, we find ourselves 4-2 with an OI in our base. You actually hit that round, and I'm going to head towards Prof to try and go up the center with him. Our fourth guy died in this tank destroyer. This tank destroyer in the middle of the map, if you've noticed, has always been there. It turns out he's AFK. So I don't have any help from this tank destroyer. I only have help from Prof. Prof gets set on fire and dies as he was trying to spot for me, but it's a T-67. So he tells me where he is. He pings where he is, where he got shot from. And I kind of expected that to be where he was. So I decide the best course of action for me is to not play the sniping game with this guy, but instead try and get up close and personal with him and hope that I just keep him in front of me, because if he gets around me, I'm screwed. So I'm going to start driving towards him under the hill. I'm hoping too that he's staying put, that he's not trying to make a play towards our sniping area, because then he'd end up behind me. So I'm really praying that he stays where he is and allows me to just drive up to him. But I have so much to climb. It's a matter of how patient he is as a player, whether he wants to sit in his bush where he easily outspotted a medium tank to try and win this battle. If he looks at the battle and he knows that it's a Jackson and a Longbomb, he definitely can outspot both of us. A lot of driving to do. And I'm really, really hoping he's not sitting like on top of this hill because he'd spot me first before I got there. Luckily not. Where he was pinged is further to the right here. So I'm hoping I can get around to where it really has nowhere to run but down. And then I have the high ground. Both unfortunately and luckily though here, he did move, but I caught him, I believe, in the midst of moving. So he wasn't really prepared to turn around and fight. Now, I might be making a mistake here to try and go towards this, because he could maybe poke the ridge and not get spotted through the tree line. But he doesn't do that. He instead tries to run, by the looks of it. I miss my shot, and I think he takes that as a challenge to try and get close as well. Now, I was hoping he doesn't go under and around, which would have killed me, but I think he played the aggressive game. Like here when he goes unspotted, I figured if he's a smart player, he's probably expecting me to still look this way, and he's going down and around, but he doesn't. Instead, he takes around, notices I fired, and thinks that my reload is too long. He underestimated my reload. He did track me, but I did get him. One shot with an HE round. Unlucky. Lucky for me, though. He did get third place as well with his T67, so kudos to you. GG's. And we did end up going to 35.68%. Next up on Great Wall, we only have really one nice shot in this one, just like the Vineyards match, before we just get rushed from the middle and we lose. And here it is. A little blind fire. Now, blind firing with a derp gun is very difficult, so I try and do it again, but I'm not going to succeed in this one. It's very difficult to blind fire with a derp gun, so that's really all we did that battle. But we still go up. It is a victory, and we did end up getting 600 damage, something like that, 621. And we go up to 36.15. Not a big increase, but an increase nonetheless. Next up, we have Prokhorovko. Now, I enjoyed this match because, one, it's encounter and there was no arty, so we immediately went bowl. And I start shooting at this OI and not getting spotted. Now, if I can just continue to shoot at this guy, that would be enough damage to suffice for me already. Like, I'd be happy with the full HP, but I missed my next round. And when I go and look for this VK shot, I do get spotted, so I back up a little. And I'm going to try and golf here, and I went too far to the right to try and lead because he was moving, so I probably went way past him. Golfing is very finicky. And I'm still spotted. They know I'm here now. Whatever might be sniping an A6, but it's fine. I have bushes to play with, so I'm going to golf this OI again, and this time actually hit. I do it one more time, but I must have hit the tip of his gun or something because I do 0 damage. This SU-85 gets spotted, and I don't know whether or not to shoot AP or heat, but I shoot the heat round, and the shell velocity took so long that I thought I missed, but there's my second one shot in this tank. I come over here to try and help with the cap. We killed the OIs and whatnot, and you'll see where the OI died because I actually use his corpse to my... I try to use his corpse to my benefit, but we don't have any shots here. But again, we're going to still try and get some shots. Unfortunately here, I'm impatient. He's got so much in front of him, so much soft cover, that my round just gets eaten up by the soft cover. He was going to back up to where there was no soft cover, and I should have kept waiting, but I do get around into him. But notice Prof dies. So, do I stand behind this rock and get outspotted by the Excalibur and this medium, or do I rush forward and fight them? Now, I miss a round there, and I'm going to miss this next one. And if I didn't miss these rounds, this game could have been completely different. He's at 400 hit points, and when I finally connect a round, I only do 171. He would have been dead by then. And here's the OY's body. It's hard to see through all this smoke, so I do go into first person here to see it well. I try and use him as cover as much as possible from the Excalibur in the back. At least I think it's an Excalibur. I might be wrong. But I noticed this little cubby, but when I shoot through it, I hit the tip of his gun and do 0 damage, and he gets around me. Oh no. I told you I'm going to have to get used to just people just driving around me. And it is an Excalibur. I was right. But oh no. It was a good game. 1230 damage and a bit of assisted. 972. That's quite a lot. But it could have been another ace battle potentially. We only get to 39.2% with that one. But here's another El Haluf battle. And I'll actually show this one because, well, it's a bit more exciting than the previous one that I didn't show. And it starts off immediately with a round that's going towards the IS-2, but I end up blind firing something else. Turns out to be a Jagdpanther, who I then hit again and track. And he basically nearly dies here. Artie hits him, someone else hits him, he's on 45 hit points. But for the rest of this battle, I decide I want to go and spot. Because there's no point in me sitting back there or trying to get around to where I can be sneaky with the cliff faces that I have to climb. So I'm just going to go out here and start brawling, basically, with this AT-2. He dies. Luckily, there's a Panzer V M10, which you don't see very often out in the middle, but I don't end up going for him because there's actually this Cheeto who I'm hoping to pen here. I don't. And I'm bouncing quite a lot of damage, but you'll see here in a moment, that changes quite quickly. So I shoot my heat round instead to guarantee the pen. He dies. I do get the spotting for it. I get penned once. The IS-2 up there bounces me, actually. I get hit by a Brumbar, and that T-67 finally finishes me off in the corner. But we did alright. And that wraps it up for day 1 of the Longbomb. We're ending on 41.3%. And there you have it. Day 1 of my journey to 3-mark the Longbomb. If you've stuck around this long to the end, thank you. Let me know if you like this longer form content below, and if you haven't already, check out xiverisx's video on his journey with the Sturm Tiger. I'll see you guys for day 2 soon, and take care.